What have you learned in the last 20 minutes?
Well, just to follow up on what we just heard from Jen Psaki at the State Department, more information from the White House on the conversation between the president and President Putin. That call, we told you earlier, happening earlier today at the initiation of the Russians, and we knew that the subject of the plane came up during the course of the conversation. What we've learned from this readout provided to us from the White House is that it came up by President Putin mentioned it, and all we've learned here from the statement during the call, President Putin noted the early reports of a downed passenger jet near the Russia-Ukraine border. No more on what may have caused it, the discussion the two had about the circumstances surrounding the downing of the plane. What I can tell you from this statement is that, again, the initiation of this call came from the Russians, and it was to discuss the new sanctions being imposed by the United States, the president walking through why the sanctions were being imposed. One of the reasons he cited, at least according to this call, was the flow of heavy weapons from Russia into Ukraine, and the president specifically asked for concrete steps by President Putin to deal with the escalation, and he said specifically, again, let me read to you from the statement that the concrete steps to de-escalate the situation, including pressing separatists to agree to a ceasefire, supporting a roadmap for negotiations, halting the flow of fighters and weapons into Ukraine, and obtaining the release of all hostages still held by separatists, and to work with monitors, border monitors, to try and, again, de-escalate the situation. That's what President Obama asked President Putin to do in their call this morning. The subject of this, the plane, coming up as well, but no more on the cause of the plane going down and the circumstances surrounding it. Tom.
Peter, I don't mean to catch you unawares. Do we know where Secretary Kerry is? Was he in the air when this event occurred?
Well, Secretary Kerry's been a busy man recently. He's been part of the conversations in Vienna with the Iran talks. He's been to Afghanistan recently, and I do not want to say specifically where he is right now, because there are times when we can actually report where the Secretary is because he's in the air. So I don't want to give you that answer, Tom, and be wrong, or give you information I can't be relaying at this moment.
Right. What is the information, Peter Cook, with your experience in Washington? Mark and I were talking about this earlier. What is the information that you want to find out politically from this event?
You know, Tom, I think at this point, given the geopolitics involved, there isn't a lot of political overtone to it at this moment. I think the information that I want to get, the same information that, for example, members of Congress are getting right now up on Capitol Hill. They want intelligence. They want the basic facts. Who was responsible here? Because if some of the reporting here is incorrect, they want to know about it before they go out and make public statements. I think that's what the United States government's doing as well. What you heard, why Jen Psaki is so reluctant to go anywhere near some of the early reports that some group may have been to blame here. My understanding is that Dennis McDonough, the White House Chief of Staff, is on Capitol Hill. He's one of those people participating in some of the briefings for members of Congress, but I know that there are members of the House Intelligence Committee who are getting information right now, more information, Tom, than you and I have. They are getting the latest information that U.S. intelligence services have.